This is not a normal skyblock. Starting from just 81 blocks, I have already worked through a lot of tedious and incredibly difficult phases to land me here, beating the dragon in 600 days.
Yes, finally!
But you see, I also want to defeat the Warden. One issue though, there are no Skull Shriekers in Skyblock. But that is okay, as I have a 6-stage plan that will get us there, starting on phase 1. This is how I gather iron for now. And it's about time for an actual farm. While building the foundation of this farm, a wandering trader spawned, and thanks to him I have expanded my wood selection. Actually, let's buy it, why not? The iron farm was ready to take in the new villagers, despite some of them not sharing that goal. Why did you go there? Oh, come on. Dude, just go back to the overworld, it's much more safer there for you. Where are you going now? Come on! Two of them were willing to go into the farm, while the third one just didn't want to end up there. Natural selection or something. Nevertheless, I farmed a lot of spruce, and when the night came I got another villager from the breeder. And by destroying some torches I got a zombie to spawn, and he was put into the farm as well. After an entire day of collecting iron by hand, I could almost craft enough hoppers to pick it all up automatically. Maybe it seems a bit off that I'm building random slow farms, but hear me out. If we want to achieve our goal, we need a faster way to get certain items. Iron, check. Slime? Do we really need a farm for that? Redstone? There are two ways to get a lot of it. Either a witch farm or we buy it from clerics. For now, the villager variant seemed a bit faster, so I went back to my blaze grinder in the Nether to get some more blaze rods. As the current infrastructure for the villagers does not have any rooms left, I began laying foundation for a new villager hotel. Before inviting them to their new homes, I made a few adjustments to the iron farm, so now the golems would not get stuck anymore. And I also remade the villager cells to make it a bit more effective. Okay, this is a bit of a problem, so one of the villagers escaped, but luckily the zombie is still watching me and not the villager. Okay, we'll try again. As the sun went down, I tried once again with a new one, which spawned on a crafting table in my tree farm. During the next day the farm got the makeover needed, and that began to show in the raids. I have no idea for how long you have been here, but let's see what you have. I mean, let's buy some mushrooms, why not? In the following days, all I did was chop down huge spruce trees and empty my villager breeder every now and then, as I needed a lot of villagers. You may be wondering how much wood have I collected, and this is it. And this will all soon be converted into emeralds. In the morning of day 686 I have finished my villager collection for now, let me show it to you. 3 spots were given to the clerics, the ones I actually needed right now. 7 reserved for the librarians, once the paper shall be obtained. And 9 for the fleshers, forced to exchange sticks for power. And for the rest, I have no idea. Here is the plan. All the wood can be crafted into sticks, and that can be sold to fleshers. With the emeralds I can buy up to 192 redstone dust per day. With those kind of redstone quantities I could begin working on an automated cobblestone farm. The farm was mostly done, but I couldn't finish it as I lacked sand, which is a crucial component for making TNT. Despite that, I still decided to take down the old cobblestone generator and build a faster smelter in its place. A batch of 6 villagers got moved into their new home. With this, the new villager trading hall is now 100% full. In order to progress, we need sugarcane and sand. Both can be acquired from wandering traders. Because of that, I went back to my wandering trader farm, and to spend the time more efficiently, I took my azalea saplings with me. So I can get more dirt while waiting for the wandering trader. Every now and then I got some pillager patrol problems, but I made sure to remove them from the mob cap as soon as possible. At some point I just didn't want to chop down trees anymore, as it quickly became repetitive. Just why are you guys not spawning? Come on! Well, would you look at that? Welcome to the island! And what do you have? I mean, great offer, but sadly I do not need any of those items. I have to remove you from the mob cap, sadly. Bye. By growing trees too close to the fire, I found out that fire can actually save me quite a lot of time. And of course, when something works, you have to do it again. On day 727 my diamond tools broke, so I had to make a trip back to my main island to acquire more. I started lighting up my entire platform. This way I do not have to panic every time the sun goes down, and it also allows me to work during the nights. Yo, here is another one. Let's see what he has. Actually sand. Can you make TNT with red sand? I'm not sure. But let's buy all of it. And slime balls. Yeah, we can buy some jungle saplings as well, why not? Despite not getting the sugarcane, I still got a lot of useful loot, including the red sand. So I postponed my quest for the sugarcane for now and went back to my base. Oh yes, you can actually craft TNT. Slowly I constructed the TNT duper, and after double checking it to make sure that I won't lose the TNT, it became operational the next day. It was in fact so efficient that I needed to improve my output collection system right away. Over the next few days the cobblestone farm was working with full speed while I was getting ready to enter phase 2. Yes, I already have a Nether fortress farm, but sadly it isn't fast enough to be used for farming wither skeletons. Well, except for this moment when I was here last time. I don't need that, but thank you. I started with building the base of the farm, by that I mean the drop chutes. Then I started working on the main spawning area. No way that he just dropped a skeleton skull. As the spawnable area was so big that standing on the one edge would result in spawns on the other, I temporarily blocked half of the farm off to make the building a bit easier. Another one. I now had 3 skulls, but I need at least 12 for 4 beacons, so it was time to grind more. Another one. At this point a looting sword would be very nice, but you are probably tired of me complaining about not having that sugarcane yet. Did I say that I will stop at 12 schools? Well, let's just say that I got a bit carried away as I kind of made this farm a bit too efficient. And I ended up with 30 schools in no time. With the skulls I returned to the overworld. You see, I could fight some of those withers right away, but I simply do not have enough materials to build the base of the beacon. With no other option, the construction of the new mega iron farm began. I started with a simple yet effective iron collection area, followed by some water stream, and I eventually started building the 4 villager cells. The first batch of villagers got moved into their new home on day 750, completing half of the farm. During the day I made 2 additional cells, and when the night came I completed batches 2 and 3. But once again the day started too soon, so I took this time to prepare for the next opportunity. On day 752 all the villagers have been transported into the farm. The first zombie that I tried to deploy into the farm was a failure, but at least I got a music disc that night. The first successful attempt occurred the next day, and by the end of that night I got another one. Ugh, come on. I hope this is the last zombie that I have to get. The farm was designed in a way that allows me to turn it off if any repairs are needed. Over the following days I extended the water canals as I made them a bit too narrow for the iron golems. And I also expanded the hopper grid for picking the iron up. On day 757 the iron farm became fully operational. After that I began expanding my main island once again. Of course, as I covered new chunks I got more slime problems, but thanks to a shepherd I could now spawn proof it quite easily with more carpets. The area I filled in was massive, but it will be useful later. With safety fences and proper lights, the island felt more and more like home each day. It didn't take that long for the iron farm to begin producing some really impressive quantities of iron. And guess what? On day 765 I already had all the iron I needed to make my beacon. The only thing left to do was to get those beacons, and for that I did some basic preparations and then went straight to the end. The reason I chose this dimension was because I can simply dig tunnels into the end island and finish the withers without too much risk. Oh, look at that. My bow is quite powerful. Thanks to a good bow and a decent sword, the fights were quite easy. We have our first Nether star. From here it was just a matter of repeating the same strategy a few times and we soon had all the Nether stars I needed. And now it is done, so let me tell you how we will progress from here on. As I said at the start, I want to beat the Warden, and yes, I do not have any Skull Shriekers in this world, so this should be impossible, right? Or is it? You see, there is a way to do it. You probably heard of written books. Each book supports tens of thousands of characters depending on the exact entries. And according to my testing, the maximum is about 4 bytes per character. We can clearly see that books can easily hold quite a few hundred kilobytes of data. And because of that, the players have found ways to use them for chunk bans as well as chunk duplication. In order for Minecraft to work, it needs to save chunks every so often, so that the next time you open the game, no progress is lost. The chunk dupe used the fact that enough books made the chunk unsavable, and so the game picked the previous save of this chunk. If we increase the number of books to, let's say, tens of thousands, and if we limit Minecraft's resources to just a few gigabytes of RAM, because of this limitation, the game simply doesn't know how to select the previous game-saved chunk. And in some specific versions of the game, this will cause memory errors, causing the chunk to regenerate. And in case of Skyblock, this means that we get a new filled chunk. Now yes, before you say it, this method was used before by other YouTubers, such as Mat but he used a setup with at least 16 double chests filled with shulkers and filled with written books. Today I will show you a way to do it with just 2 double chests. And I won't be using any item shadowing duplication glitches for those books. But back to the main story now. Since we are still in the end, I thought that this was a good time to visit one of the corner portals at the End Island. Using a trapdoor, I quickly got into the portal and got transported into the new End area. Slowly, I made my way to the first structure that I saw. But I can't even call this one a city, as it was more like an End village. But at least I could start getting those shulker shells. 1 down, 216 to go. The Ant Village offered me a grand total of 2 shulker shells. Well, we better get moving to find another one. A couple of minutes of wandering later, I found another Ant Village. I mean, these Ant Villages are quite cool, but I only got a grand total of 0 shulker shells from this one. However, the next day the luck finally started turning. I can see something. Oh wow, that is big. And for the first time I saw an actual Ant City, featuring the first treasure chest. Okay, this is nice. And a battle arena with even better loot. Oh wow, diamonds, look at that. And our first diamonds on this skyblock. We were finally getting somewhere, but what's even better is that the next city was right next to the current one. But this wasn't a normal end city, this was a true metropolis. With not 1, oh wow, that is a lot, not 2, wow, look at that, an armor trim. Not 3, more diamonds, not 4, another one, not 5, more iron, but 6 treasure rooms, more loot, and of course, the grand prize. Finally. And we have it. The Elytra definitely came in handy, as the next city was really close. The 5th city brought me up to 68 shells, and the 6th to 82, but I only had 6 steaks left, and if I would run out of food in this place, that would be deadly. The only problem being that I had no idea where my original portal was. With no other option, I went exploring, and after 10 minutes I found another way out. We still have 3 steaks, that's plenty. As we haven't collected even half of the shells I need, I grabbed even more food and weapons, and returned to the end, with the goal to collect all the 216 shells I needed. Besides all the shells that I got from the End City, I also got a bunch of armor, and a few of them also had mending on them, which is really nice. Now I'm only missing a mending enchantment on this Elytra. We need about 47,000 books. But the bigger problem for now is the fact that I do not have any sugarcane. But I guess I can start by breeding animals, as I need leather and feathers anyways. First, I created a new pen for chickens. From 15 eggs I had, only 1 chicken hatched. Next, I created an even bigger fence for cows and moved all 3 I had from my passive mob farm into their new home. As I will need a lot of crops, another field was made and planted. Later it was bone mealed, harvested and planted again. Every field needed to be focused on producing these 2 items. The work truly started on day 790. At first it didn't seem like much was going on, but when the days really started going, it became obvious that I was breeding an entire army. The chicken side lagged behind a bit as I tried to get that second one to spawn from the eggs. But on day 797 it finally happened. Yes, finally! After feeding him an entire stack of seeds, he was ready to start reproducing a couple of minutes later. To improve my chicken pen, I placed a few fences around my tree farm so no more slimes would jump down. Now chickens reproduced even faster than cows thanks to the eggs they lay. And we even got some visitors while breeding them. Whoa, we have a new trader. And yeah, let's buy those, why not?
Even if it is breached, it would take a number beyond reckoning, thousands to storm the keep.
Tens of thousands.
But my lord, there is no such force.
In reality, we have about 2000 entities. But even this is making quite a stress on my PC. So let's combine a couple of looting swords I got from the end cities and make one sword to rule them all. Thanks to a good looting sword, I got about 3.4% of leather and about 6.3% of all the feathers I need. At this rate, I will need at least 400 more days to get enough items, so it's time to step things up a notch. Collecting chicken eggs is quite time consuming, so I created another chicken pen to pick up the eggs automatically and dispense them in the pen below. With the chickens removed from the bottom pen, it was time to activate the egg dispenser. Now our chicken production was in much better shape. By day 817 I already had 12.5% of all the feathers I will need. But the leather production was still quite slow as it required our input for breeding. I felt like experimenting a bit, so I activated only the chicken dispenser and for this time I didn't breed any cows. Wait, another wandering trader. What does he have? And still no sugarcane. As I wanted to see how many chickens it would take for my game to start lagging. Okay, so we have about 3000 entities now, and as you can see, my game is struggling quite a bit. Just look at that iron golem over there. After removing them, I had about 1/4 of all the feathers I would need. Yo guys, this is serious, we have another wandering trader. What do you have to offer? Okay, you have sand. That's quite decent. Now that I had a couple of sand blocks to spare, I decided to smelt a couple of them into glass. And then crafted 4 beacons to light up the sky. And guess what, even a wandering trader didn't want to miss that event. Already? And yeah, well, he has melons, so let's buy them, I guess. The feather production really picked up, and that's why I decided to breed just cows in both pens. So I could catch up with leather production. Oh hi, I didn't see you, and what do you have? And yeah, well, pumpkins, that's great, let's buy those. With all of those crops being harvested, it was only a matter of time when I ran out of bone meal, and that happened on day 874. The sun is about to go up and we have another wandering trader, so let's see what he has. Sugarcane! Yes! Finally! After skipping the thunderstorm, I planted all 12 sugarcane pieces and waited for them to grow. And I immediately started working on a new sugarcane farm. The farm was now outputting about 160 sugarcane per day, but that is nowhere near enough. So I built another layer to double the output of the farm. With combining some of the dirt and gravel I had from the previous Nether adventure, I could get a few more dirt blocks for stage 3, the construction of which began the next day, and we were now producing about 480 sugarcane per day. As I ran out of dirt, I began working on a new squid farm near a frozen river biome. I realized that the squid farm only works while I'm close enough, and this was sadly the closest spot to my base. But that is sadly not enough, so I expanded the farm even more. Now the farm was producing about 1500 ink per day, and it was time to add a proper storage solution. Please consider pressing that subscribe button, it would mean really a lot to me. We are now producing all the items on our to-do list, but to speed things up we need librarians. I just needed to convince each one of them to start selling me bookshelves. Guys, we have a bit of a problem, so those trades are quite expensive and some of the villagers, like this one, and even this one, think that 14 emeralds is somehow justified for one bookshelf. With those prices I need to sell more items, so I employed 3 more ironsmiths and 3 more butchers. I also repurposed half of the cow farm again to be a chicken farm. Thanks to the non-optimal trades I could only buy about 4% of all the books I needed. To expand my sugarcane farm I started farming even more dirt, and what a better way to do it than near the squid farm so I can get more ink as well. Every now and then I still went to the chicken farm to collect the feathers. My hostile mob farm was still producing enough bones to keep my azalea tree business going. After a couple of days of farming I had about 9 stacks of dirt as well as 1/4 of all the ink I needed. Those stacks of dirt went directly into the sugarcane farm, but yet again I ran out of materials, but this time it was slime. And now the farm was producing around 720 sugarcane per day. The rest of the dirt and sand was placed on an additional platform. This way I got to around 1100 items per day. After running this configuration of farms for the next 8 days, I found out that we need to rely more heavily on the villagers. The solution is to regulate the prices of the villagers. I built a zombie villager curing station, infected a zombie, watched a creeper explode, I got a witch, I cured the villager for the first time, I saw that his prices have dropped, I infected him again and cured him as well, and now the prices are all the way down to 1 emerald per bookshelf. We also just unlocked the infinite emerald glitch, but I won't be using that today as I have more than enough iron to cover my costs. To save time, I also built a contraption to speed the process up even more, and indeed we got all 6 villagers cured twice in less than 2 days. After the curing was done, I removed the mess as it became a slime farm. And also a new wandering trader gave me access to kelp and brown dye. The next day, right as the villager emerald exchange market opened, I started my operation. With my current setup I could buy now up to 504 books per day. A part of my sugarcane farm was built too far, meaning that I couldn't get both ink and sugarcane at the same time at full speeds. Eventually my meat supplies ran out, and to make things worse, the toolsmiths began to raise their prices like crazy as well. The only option was to reactivate the villager breeder and bring some order into this chaos. So I employed a couple of extra villagers. On day 956 I got worried. One of my librarians also began to raise prices of bookshelves. Another one. It seemed to spread like a disease, and soon 4 out of 7 librarians raised their prices. And eventually the entire market was too expensive. With those kind of prices, believe it or not, I have completely ran out of my once big emerald collection. For now I will leave the villagers, so they can rethink about their ridiculous prices. Instead I will repurpose all the farming fields to sugarcane farming. The extra dirt that I got in the process will go to a new platform near a squid farm. This increased my theoretical sugarcane farm speed to 1800 sugarcane per day. As expected, a couple of days later the villagers dropped their prices and we were back in the game. For faster transportation I created new paths. It looks like the villagers won't give up till the end. And a fight it truly was. All the farms and the villagers were pushed to their limits. On day 978 I got all the feathers I needed. 10 days later I had enough ink. That is when I started combining leather with paper to form books. Even a wandering trader came to see what I was doing. On day 992 I got every resource I needed. I created the Genesis book and started copying it. The book crafting journey was really longer than I thought, and mainly because of the really slow crafting. Guys, look at that, the sun is going up on day 1000, and as you can see we are not quite done with crafting the books. In fact, we are about 1/4 way done. And if we open one of those chests, you can see that the items actually do lag behind, and this is a very good sign. But now it was definitely too late to quit now, so I had to get it done. This is luckily the last book that I will have to craft. And now we are done. We finally entered phase 5. I looked at the default world and picked a chunk that offered me the most Skulk Shriekers. Then I made a highway to it in my hardcore world through the Nether. After a couple of trips back and forth I finally brought everything to this location. As you can see we are on a chunk border, so this is the chunk that we want to replicate. These are all the books that we have crafted, and when we flick this lever, all the books will go into this center chunk. Before you ask it, yes, we will downgrade the world by one version. This is because this method with 2 double chests is easier to replicate in 1.19.2. Step 1. I booted the 2 GB version of 1.19.2, and after the game let me in, I moved all the books into the center chunk. Step 2. I booted the 1 GB version of 1.19.2. In the short window that I was given, I tried to open the chest and activate the saving mode by pressing escape. And after a few game crashes and freezes later...
Oh, wait! What? Actually, it worked! It worked! Look at that, we have a chunk!
Just in case you would like to try this out for yourself, the glitch is super unreliable, and sometimes it takes multiple tries to get there, and there are a bunch of different errors that can help you achieve this glitch. So I went back to the version 1.20.1 and started exploring the new chunk. It looks like we have a bit of a different configuration of Skulk Shriekers and Skulk Sensors, but we still have enough of them to trigger a Warden spawn. Uh-oh. Okay, we were... Oh no. I knew I couldn't afford much more false triggers or I will spawn him before I will be ready. So I carefully built my beacon and the Warden trap. As the sun went up on day 1022, it was finally time. Actually, let's try my luck and let's open this chest. Okay, interesting. We have some new items over here. And I have just activated this. I have to be very careful here. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's here, he is here. Let's go. To finish him, I used the same bow that was used against the dragon, and I must say that this method is quite effective. And he's gone. Then I explored the ruins a bit and accidentally... Whoa, let's go. I just spawned another one. And this was our second Warden. If you watch the video carefully, you will know that this is only stage 5 out of 6, and that is thanks to you guys. Especially thanks to everyone that has clicked that subscribe button.
Thank you so much for 25 subscribers.
The large number of stages is absolutely enormous. It's designed by someone called Lord John 25.
So today I will show you this very quick mock farm.
"1,000 subscribers! I had never thought we would come so far. My name is Lord John 25 and I have been member of Prototech server for over half a year now.
Craft is always being pushed to its absolute limit.
So recently we hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is really insane. His recreation of my video has now 584,000 views. Work began on a new, truly colossal structure. This is not a normal skyblock. With absolutely none of the usual resources, every day of survival is a